NFL Offseason Madness!
And yes, the madness continues. So after the Cliff Kingsbury debacle, the Las Vegas Raiders rebound quickly, and they hire former Bears offensive coordinator Luke Getsy as their offensive coordinator. Now, I'm going to try to look at this in a positive light for the Raiders fans. I am, if you know by now, I am a Chicagoan and a Chicago Bears fan, but I do cover the full NFL. I cover all teams in the NFL and especially the draft. So as a Chicago fan, I'll give you my perspective on Luke Getsy. But before we get started, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to make sure you stay locked in to Draft Capital Sports, where we provide all the NFL draft news, NFL offseason news, trades, etc. for your 2024 NFL offseason. Now let's get back to the video. The Luke Getsy hire is not the best hire, but it's also not terrible. Now, I think the reason they went with Luke Getsy has to do with Davante Adams being on the team. He was Davante's wide receiver coach for, I think, a few years. So, and he saw some of Davante's development. He oversaw that. I think maybe he contributed to it. Davante probably had some good things to say about him as a coach. So AP and the Raiders brass chose Luke Getsy as the offensive coordinator. Now, one thing I will say is that Getsy, he can make a good game plan to start a game. He can create a good script. He does not know how to set a team up for the rest of the game, though, as far as in-game play calling. His play calling, his adjustments to the defense, having answers and figuring out what sets they were in, what plays they were going to be calling. He just did not know how to adjust to that. There was very little audibling by the offense. There was very little easy checkdowns and checkoffs. That he's a young offensive coordinator, so maybe he learned from those things and he'll be able to improve on those things. There was a lot of Justin Fields holding the ball, or people say, well, he holds the ball too long. There's guys wide open. Most of the time, there was not receivers wide open. I mean, if you watch the tape and you know football and you can play football, or you've ever played football, you would know that a lot of the throws, quote unquote, that Justin Fields missed would have been interceptions. I mean, if you're trying to throw a 6, you're trying to throw a 2, you're trying to throw an 8, and I'm the safety, I'm behind it. I'm sorry, I'm going to pick that off because I know it's coming. I'm sitting on it. And you don't have any other receiver threatening me down the field. So what you're hoping is that the quarterback threads a needle in between myself and the cornerback. This is just an example of something I saw continuously with the Bears offense. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole. Just Getsy has a problem. His route combinations can get simple throughout the game. They're easy to figure out. It's very easy to read what the Bears are trying to do. His situational football play calling is just not, it wasn't up to snuff with Chicago. Now, AP, as the head coach, is going to have to monitor that in the offense. He's going to have to make decisions on what the offense should be doing as far as down and distance. That's something Eberflus didn't do early and started to do later in the season after he figured out Getsy just couldn't really figure out how to call the right play, how to dial up the right play in the right situation, depending on down and distance. So Raiders fans, I think Jayden Daniels would probably be the best quarterback for them because of his escapability and his decision making. And they have good wide receivers, which is what he's used to, and he's going to need that. They have a pretty good offensive line. The Chicago Bears did not have these things. So that is another, I will give Getsy that caveat. The receivers on the Bears were not to the level of the receivers that are on the Raiders, including Hunter Renfrow, who I think the Raiders should keep now. The rushing offense was better with David Montgomery as the running back. I believe Jacobs is a better version of David Montgomery, so that is also a positive. Khalil Herbert is not to the level of running back or the type of running back you need to run the offense I think Getsy wanted to run, like an Aaron Jones. So it could work better in Las Vegas than it did in Chicago for Luke Getsy. I mean, they have better receivers. They have shiftier receivers. They have receivers who understand effort, unlike some of the Bears receivers. I mean, Darnell Mooney, I think, was trying to get to free agency. He started off under a bad offense with Matt Nagy as the head coach. That was kind of just a garbage time stat offense is the best way to put that. You know, you kind of get a lot of yards once the game's out of reach. So Mooney didn't understand the toughness it took to be a key receiver. Chase Claypool, the same thing. So when DJ Moore arrived here, he had kind of had to show them how to be a real complete receiver and how you go after the ball. Also tight end Cole Kmet. So I think when you look at the Raiders, they have Myers, they have Mayer, the tight end out of Notre Dame. They have 3 good receivers, 3 veteran receivers. They have a good running back. They have a good offensive line. All these things will help with the Luke Getsy experience. So the defense will be good. Raiders fans, it's not doom and gloom. Hold your head up because you have a better roster from a weapon standpoint than the Chicago Bears had. And that may help Getsy out. But he's going to have to develop into a better play caller. But he's young. So, and Devontae, that familiarity, I think, will help with Adams being there. So that's all I have to say about it. I just want to chime in as a Chicago fan. I've been covering the Cliff Kingsbury thing and the whole, if there was going to be a trade and all that debacle, whatever. The video will be linked at the end of this video here. But thank you for watching this Draft Capital Sports. As always, more draft coverage, more Senior Bowl coverage coming soon. Thank you for watching. Peace.